What's going on, guys? This is Mr. Teej at 66's Movie Reviews. I am Mr. Teej at 66. Today I am joined by two guests from the show,
John Kratz.
And I'm Eric.
and today we will be reviewing the 1977 cult film Eraserhead. Now, what's this movie about, guys?
I have no idea. We have no idea.
It's about a baby. It's about an alien baby.
I'll try to give him plot synopsis.
There you go.
All right. Good luck.
Yeah, there's this guy named Henry. He lives in some kind of industrial area. He gives birth to he gets his girlfriend pregnant, and she gives birth to some kind of fucked up, demented human mutant child. That's really about it. That's really the only plot I can possibly describe. This movie is batshit crazy. You have no idea. You think you've seen weird movies before? This takes the cake. It is borderline incomprehensible. Correct, John?
It is. The first time I watched it, I was like, what the fuck is this? And then I watched it again, and I was like, what the fuck?
Just disturbing imagery, I can't show anything, unfortunately, right now, but trust me, this movie is probably a drug movie. Let's just not even beat around the bush. This is like a movie you probably need to see fucked up and...
Drugs enhance the film.
Oh my goodness.
They do.
There's a baby that is like... How would you describe the baby?
The baby...
What did you say that it was possibly a baby cow? Or
cow fetus?
Like a calf
Well,
fetus?
in real life, because they never say... David Lynch, the director of the film, he's active in the industry to this day, but he does mostly quirky little independent films, like Lost Highway is another one. You like that movie, John?
Yep, Elephant Man.
Dune. But mostly he does Twin Peaks. He was behind that TV show. But mostly he does quirky little independent films. Not really. I mean, he's dabbled in mainstream, but mostly an independent filmmaker. But the baby is... I don't even know how to describe... This is like the hardest review we've ever had to do.
It's like slimy, but really though, its face. Imagine like a calf. Truly though, that's or a deer fetus, maybe something.
A deer fetus.
But it's got to be some type of animal. It doesn't resemble a human in the slightest, not even close.
Right.
I guess the baby would be the antagonist of the film.
It's basically open to interpretation. This is basically a Rorschach test, where you see whatever you want to see. There's no wrong answer here. David Lynch has even said that this is probably director bullshit. He says that no analysis of the film has ever come close to what his analysis of the film is, but he's never going to say, obviously, because then everyone will be like, oh, well, that's what it means, because he made the movie. But I think that's kind of bullshit, just to jerk us off, pretty much.
So what would you say some main themes of the movie would be?
Fear of fatherhood, because the movie has constant sexual... Oh, God.
Completely sexual.
Yeah, there are fetuses, there are like sperm-like things which fall out of the sky. There's a woman in the radiator with gigantic cheeks. It's maybe one of the most disturbing things I've ever seen. It's just what is going on? It is truly a movie where you're just going to be scream out probably in the middle, what the fuck am I watching?
That's what I said.
I just don't know.
You truly have to have an open mind going into watching the film, because if you're going to go in thinking at the end of the scene, I'm going to get some information going into the next scene, it's going to make a little sense. No, you just got to take everything, interpret it as you will, as you want to.
It's an art film, basically.
It's truly, art at its finest, because personally, I like to watch films with some sort of puzzle in the plot or a riddle, but that's what this whole thing is. It's just literally, what the fuck am I watching? There's just spoiler alert.
Spoilers, I can really spoil this movie, right?
There's a scene where they're all sitting around the table.
Oh, Jesus, yes.
There's some little chickens that the main character Henry is asked to carve. Before he carves them, the chicken's legs start going back and forth, almost in an oscillating motion, sort of maybe sexual, and blood starts shooting out of the chicken's hole, and it just gets things just get crazy at the dinner table.
Yeah, they do.
And then there's John's favorite character.
Yes, Bill, the father. So it's a lot of it's kind of like a meet the in-laws. So Henry goes over to meet his girlfriend's in-laws, and it's just a complete. Who knows? Just dysfunctional dystopia. I don't know. We don't know. I don't know. There's grandma And,
Oh, God, Grandma.
Grandma in the kitchen.
Mom helps Grandma toss the salad, and while she's smoking a cigarette. What's going on? I don't know. No one knows.
While smoking a cigarette.
Exactly. Must smoke cigarettes in the future. Or in the past. Who knows?
Who knows? Yeah.
The father has a fixation on pipes. He screams about putting every pipe in this place.
And this motherfucker quotes that like every day.
It is very quotable. Oh, you are sick. Just remember that quote, folks.
People think pipes grow all by themselves, but they sure as hell don't.
Look at my knees.
Look at him. He's breaking up right now. He just can't.
I thought it might be a comedy, and then I watched it again and realized it was definitely.
No,
it's definitely a mixture.
It could be a comedy. It's subjective.
It could be someone's dream. It could be someone's LSD trip.
But
no one knows.
The overriding theme of the film, though, is fear of fatherhood. Like the child could be the ultimate bastard child that no one wants. And
you couldn't make up any interpretation without starting with fatherhood and being afraid of, regardless of how it got there or what you're gonna do about it. The central theme, you can't extrapolate on it without it being Henry being scared of this ridiculous alien screaming slimy baby the whole time. So
strange stuff going on. I mean, if you're gonna rent this movie, it's actually kind of hard to find. Is it on Netflix?
No,
it was. I don't know.
Okay,
if
you.
TJ has a copy.
Yes, this was. I had to order this from the David Lynch website. It's like $25.
About $40 now.
Yeah,
it's about $40. You can't get
so it might be online. I'm sure you could download it somewhere. I'm sure.
It has to be.
Another pointless trivia fact: there are no chapter stops in the film. David Lynch does not believe in chapter stops, which I think is kind of shitty. It's like, well, what happens if you miss something? You want to go back? You have to rewind through the whole movie again. I mean, I guess it's an artist thing, whatever.
You need to watch the whole movie multiple times. And you still.
It's in black and white. We should mention that it is in black and white. So a lot of people today don't like black and white. I like it.
Yeah, it adds to the mystery of the film.
As we were talking about, we were wondering what certain objects would have been in the movie if it was colorized, because it's kind of hard to tell.
Yeah, in Henry's apartment, there's like a bunch of like grass, like on top of what is
rotting grasses.
I don't understand,
or dirt mounded up, like with a dead stick. Like
I'm sure at this point, everyone watching this is like, dude, I almost want to watch this movie, like just for. I don't know. You'll be confused. We've shown it to a lot of people, and they're just like,
they're
like,
confused.
That's the worst
and
movie
anyone,
I've ever
I
seen.
challenge anyone that really prides themselves on being descriptive or being able to just. Well, no. That's about it. Being able to describe exactly what's going on. Watch this movie, and try and tell the next person exactly what you just saw.
Yeah.
Just try.
You can't.
Just try and tell them what you just saw. Tell them the story, because you won't know.
What story? There almost is no story.
I know in the film industry, college classes, this is a great show that they show for the students to watch, so they can make their own interpretations.
Oh yeah.
And no one has the same one. No one has the same anything.
Like if you want to think it's a comedy, absolutely it's a comedy. Sure.
It cracks me right up.
Yeah, you were laughing.
I had no idea what was happening.
And during the movie, we were debating about whether it's sci-fi, fantasy, horror, comedy. Literally, it could be any of those.
I would say fantasy, horror.
I say sci-fi. Sci-fi.
Maybe a little bit, but sci-fi is supposed to be stuff that. I mean, I guess the apocalypse stuff could. Because it seems to be some kind of post-apocalyptic world, because there's a picture of a mushroom cloud at one point.
Correct. Yep.
And then the ending is truly incomprehensible. I mean, the whole movie is incomprehensible. The ending, especially, is just I have no idea what's going on. I can't even possibly explain it to you.
It's someone's dream, someone's nightmare, someone's really good drug.
Oh my God, yeah.
Really good drugs.
And two trivia notes: this movie became popular on what's called the midnight circuit. Now, that was a thing back in the 70s and early 80s. Like, low-budget theaters would show, B movies and things like that. Because this was an independent movie. It was not released, to major theaters. But basically, it was released in, across the country in little theaters across the country. Usually at midnight, because it's called midnight movies. And the people usually were tripping their balls off on some kind of drugs, And I'm sure that probably helped. Like, another movie that was popular was the... Rocky Horror Picture Show, that became popular in the midnight circuit. Heavy Metal, the animated film, that became popular. And the other trivia fact is, apparently, when Stanley Kubrick was making The Shining, he apparently loved this movie. Like, he loved this movie. And so when he was making The Shining, he actually screened it for the cast and crew and said, I want to make something that sort of has this vibe to it, apparently. He really enjoyed this movie a lot. But anyway, let's do a rating.
On a scale of what? 1 to 10?
I mean,
Or out of 5?
I almost can't. Well, but I do like 8 out of 10, or 1,
You like 10?
1 to 10.
All right. We'll do it.
It's almost pointless to like try and describe this movie because it just.
I give it a 14.5. It's off the scale. It's not even measurable. Who knows? I enjoy it. I enjoy the film.
A rating is irrelevant. I just
Completely
can't. I
irrelevant.
just can't. I can't rate it because it's just. How do you rate something this weird?
I mean, truthfully, I mean,
it is well directed. Like the cinematography for a low budget movie it's pretty good. I mean,
Give it a watch.
Give it a watch. The special effects for the baby are, I thought it looked pretty good. These guys seem to think it looked kind of crappy. But...
the first time I watched it, I thought it was crappy, but now that I've seen it a couple of times,
It's not bad.
after you said that it might have been like an actual animal fetus, I started watching
rumored.
it.
We don't know that.
No, but there's a part where not to spoil anything. Not that I can, but something is happening to this baby, and it is not liking it, and its eyes roll back in its head. So it's like, the more I've watched it, it seems more realistic now that it could have been some type of animal or something.
Look like a
It makes me
dying
think.
baby deer.
It makes me think about it differently, I guess. But I would honestly rate it 8, 9 out of 10. If you truly like these type of movies, independent films where you like to think about what's going on.
You can buy it from the David Lynch website, but it's expensive, and I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people aren't going to buy something they haven't seen, but you can probably get it somewhere. It has to be available somewhere. But
There's got to be some streaming site somewhere. You'll be able to find it.
Yeah, but so anyway, I guess that's just about it for Eraserhead. Thank you guys for joining me.
Absolutely.
Do you have anything you want to plug? Anything at all on my site? I don't know.
I want to plug? No, I'm set.
I just have to say, you are sick.
Oh yes, we should all do that.
Exactly.
Ready? 3, 2, 1.
You are sick. This is Mr. Heed 66, and I will see you next time.